everybody, I'm Nick.
And I'm Travis. We're very excited to show you today's episode. We have something very incredible for you to see. This is something that you cannot unsee once you have seen it. Last Flag Standing was born out of a hero's journey. Nick's experience has spawned an awakening from a dark night of the soul through the step of the hero's journey. We're going to show you how these experiences mirror patterns of nature and concepts on a geopolitical scale. Events that seem chaotic and random, but end up beautiful by design.
On Mother's Day a few years ago, I was struck at 55 miles an hour by a U-Haul truck. As many of us in constant pain know, it made drastic changes inside of my body and as well as outside, affecting my loved ones. This year, 2021, on New Year's, a life was taken from us. My brother John, age 37. John left his body to enter the great beyond, and this event was my apex. I felt split, divided, unable to reproduce love's vibrancy, like a freight train screaming down a tunnel towards the light again. The time was on me to finally fulfill my purpose, and it was time to act. I was going to be the master of my fate, take the negative energy, mold and craft it into a positive creation. But how was I to do that? Enter the teacher. My brother in arms. Soldier of God on a mission from the man himself. We found one another in a quantum dance of vibration. Love's vibrancy is guiding every message and intent behind this journey.
For we are in a time that is challenging for many, a matrix that can and will bind your mind's limits. This is by grand design. Nick and I hope to show you a better way of what's going on around you and most importantly inside of you. So everything you have been taught in your life that has got you this far, just put to the side for right now to experience possibilities of what we're about to say. In the cycles of time, we have constantly gone from chaos to order, just like Nick's experience. Our question is, does chaos create a more beautiful picture by design? Is there a pattern to be recognized here? And we say the answer is yes. There is actually a scientific theory out there called chaos theory. Within apparent randomness, there is a chaotic complex system. The underlying principle is called the butterfly effect. Some of you may know this. How a change in one state can result in large differences in a later state. In some of the chaos theory experiments, here you can see a chaotic double pendulum on a center point axis, swinging chaotically. But what you don't see is this. Almost looks like the bottom half of a toroidal field. How about a butterfly? So it goes from something like a caterpillar into a soupy substance, which is chaos, into something more intelligent and beautiful like a butterfly.
Once you've objectively observed how a stable structure can dissolve into chaos, but then just in a matter of seconds reconfigure into a more complex and finely ordered form.
In 1967, a man named Hans Jenny coined the phrase cymatics. The word cymatics actually derives from the Greek wave, basically where they take the surface of a plate, which is vibrated at a certain frequency, and they put a medium like salt on it. And studies originally done by Dr. Hans Jenny show that when playing a toning sweep through a range of frequencies, there is a moment when chaos ensues when changing to another tone. The more they increase this frequency, the patterns get more and more complex.
So you can see the patterns of frequency in nature as if the information are within these frequencies. The same patterns on a macro scale as the same ones on a micro scale, repeating over and over. This is known as fractals. So we have to ask the question, if frequencies hold information, can we control the frequencies? Did you know every emotion you have has a measurable frequency?
20 to 75 hertz is shame, guilt, apathy, and greed. 100 to 175 hertz is fear, desire, anger, and pride. 200 to 350 hertz is courage, neutrality, willingness, and acceptance. 400 to 600 hertz is reason, love, joy, peace, and compassion. Notice the happy compassion frequencies are higher. These are more complex, intelligent designs after chaos. So how do we know it affects us and our world? Studies show when you get mad, angry, have guilt, or some sort of grief, your DNA strand actually tightens and coils up. And quite the opposite happens when you are happy with compassion and love. Your DNA strands actually loosen up like they are uncoiling, almost like they are multiplying. What's nature's number one priority? It's to survive. Survive for what? To create. Remember from our first episode, our message was that love multiplies and evil actually divides.
Our thoughts and emotions are powerful electromagnetic forces capable of affecting matter all around us. Dr. Masaru Emoto documented this best in his experiments with water in his book Messages in Water, or his documentary Secrets of Water. His most famous experiment compared two different water samples. The one sample was infused with thoughts of love and happiness, and the other thoughts of negativity and hate. Both samples were frozen so a slice could be extracted and looked at under a microscope. The resulting visual pattern showed two completely different images. The love image was a beautiful geometric pattern, while the other sample was a jagged and random pattern, just like chaos. This certainly shows the power of our intention.
To continue to show you our effect on this physical world, what we are about to show you is very difficult for Western practitioners, Western scientists, and many with deep-seated beliefs to actually see this. It shatters a preconceived notion of just particles colliding with each other. We have to set this up before we show you. This video was created in a medicineless hospital in China. And in these places, people don't have access to modern hospitals like we do, but they use the practice of other traditional methods. Prayers have been very powerful in their part of the world. There is actually a preparation process before the healing method begins. They are first taught to actually change their diet into really healthy organic foods. They are taught specific moves and movements in Qigong. They are taught to change the way they feel about themselves because these qualities are believed to be reflected like a mirror in their bodies. So they undergo a process to think, feel, and live in a completely different way. And then they get to go through the experience that you are about to see. This lady was diagnosed with a bladder tumor that is inoperable. That's what they told her. She went through the preparation process and has to believe what is about to happen to her. She embraces it and she will accept this healing. Please watch this tumor disappear in real time. So here you will see there are 3 practitioners surrounding her, an ultrasound technician, and on the ultrasound machine you will see that the left image is a still shot, an ultrasound picture of her existing tumor. And on the right of the screen, you will see that this is not a time lapse. This is actually in real time. This is an ultrasound video of her tumor. This self-identification process is the apex of our journey. And you will know when you are there if you listen to yourself. The inner voice that vibrates the emotional response is always the correct one. You can always ask your heart. It will tell you the truth. The height of the tension point is where the most stress is caused and therefore has the most likelihood to gain your full attention. Just like the dark night of the soul. You listen when you are weak. With the power of intention, as the 3 practitioners chant a mantra, knowing and believing what they are doing is going to heal her out of pure gratitude before the healing is even done. This is done with your inner technology. How many stories have you heard of people with an ailment that were healed because they knew that they were going to be healed? Complete compassion.
Yep, this is going to be an incredible journey. I know so far this has absolutely been the most transformative moment in my life, and definitely coming out the end of my hero's journey thanks to Travis. So thank you, Travis.
Thank you, brother. The whole purpose of this is to help liberate everybody. And when we get to that positive field, we can liberate our country, which in turn liberates the whole world, because we are now in a quantum realm, whether people like it or not.
Yep, that's absolutely right, Travis. So we hope to hear soon from all of you, and thank you for joining us here on Last Flag Standing.
Thank you.
Have a good day.